Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
Hold one, Andre.
You're not good at this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list.
Oh my God!
Sorry, no speak English.
Dummy.
Goodbye and good night.
Hold two, on bar.
It's still real to me, damn it!
Dummy.
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
Hold three, Lamas covered. Three-handle family Gradunzel.
Mamma mia!
And now, Unchained.media presents the B Plus Podcast with your host, Greg Unchained.
It's me, Austin! It was me all along, Austin!
Number 4, armbar.
I will never retire!
I still got 200 more. I got 200 more holes to list.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the B Plus Podcast. I am your host, Greg Unchained. Today is Saturday, so you know what that means. It's time for the view from the WWE Universe. It's the pre-Summerslam, pre-NXT Takeover, I guess pre-Brooklyn. Really, it's a Brooklyn weekend. So pre-Brooklyn weekend view from the WWE Universe. I am joined, of course, as I always am when we talk WWE, by CJ. How you doing, CJ?
Good, mate. How's yourself?
Very good. Life has returned to normal. The G1 is over. So people get to hear me stop saying that I'm tired because of the G1. I'm starting to sleep more. I'm going to the gym more regularly again. Everything is feeling normal.
Yay for sleep, right?
Yeah. I mean, I
The gym can wait. Catch up on sleep first.
I mean, I have kids, so sleep is still a rarity, even without the extra wrestling to watch. But I actually sat down and watched something that wasn't wrestling yesterday. For the first time in 5 weeks, I'm not even kidding, for the first time in 5 weeks, we sat down and we binged Orange is the New Black on my day off because I had the ability to do that. It was amazing.
That is the best thing to binge at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. It was a really good show. It wasn't as good as Glow. I mean, the same team, or some of the same team members do Glow, and Glow is wrestling themed. So on my last day off from wrestling stuff, I watched Glow, and I just made it a day on and recorded an extra podcast. So I'm not going to record a podcast about Orange is the New Black. Not yet. We might expand one day, but at the moment, it's all wrestling all the time. That's what we do here at the B+.
That's right. And speaking of wrestling, let's get into this week for the WWE Universe.
Absolutely. So 205 Live is what we like to talk about first. It's our favorite show of the week, I think it's safe to say, for both of us.
Yeah.
I mean, not necessarily this week in particular, but I mean, in general, it tends to be kind of the most solid, consistently good show of the WWE week.
No, that's exactly right. I mean, they give probably their best product at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. It's at least the least you can say is it's the most consistent. I would even say it's surpassed NXT in consistency.
Currently with the NXT product, yeah, I would say too.
Yeah, so a good episode for the go home. I'm really happy that these guys are on the SummerSlam card. I've turned around completely, and I'm hoping they're on the actual card. I do not want them on the kickoff. With some of the stories going on at the moment in WWE, these guys deserve to be on the main card, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. The show started with Lio Rush coming out, cutting a promo, telling the crowd how lucky they are because even though they live in this garbage town, they get to see him do what he does because he came to collect. I thought it was really fun.
I liked that little promo from him. That was, as he says, gold.
He just finds ways to make more and more catchphrases, right? Like, because I know that I Came to Collect is in his theme song, but he's never actually said that on the mic before. And he just he's the man of a million catchphrases. He's like the new Rock.
He is. And I can see this I Came to Collect thing. Could he potentially be building to a belt collector style of person, or do you reckon that's a bit too much for him at the moment?
No, I don't think anyone in WWE could do a belt collector style gimmick because they don't get to go anywhere else unless he went to NXT and was like, I'm going to become the NXT North American, I'm going to become the NXT UK, I'm going to become, then maybe, but I don't think a belt collector gimmick at all would work.
Maybe not.
He could,
yeah.
you know what he could do? He could turn, he is heel, I think, but he could go all the way heel. And you know what they do in Mexico? What the heels like to do?
What's that?
They like to collect masks.
Ooh.
If he started challenging the Lucha House Party guys to mask matches, we're talking a few months down the road, I'd say, but if he started challenging them to mask matches and collecting masks, I came to collect, that'd be pretty cool, I think. That would be. I don't think it's going to happen at all.
But yeah, as we saw in the opening match, we saw Lio Rush go head-to-head with Akira Tozawa for the third time.
Right, so was it the third? I thought it was the second.
No, sorry, yeah, you're right. No, second. Sorry, second.
Second time, yeah, because normally, that's one of the things I noted here was normally 205 Live, we've talked about it a few times, they really like their 3-match structure. One guy gets a win, the other guy gets a win, then they have a rubber match to clear things, and then they move on to other people.
Yep.
But this time around, no 3-match structure. Lio Rush clearly puts Akira Tozawa in the rear view. He beats him twice in a row. Clean, minimal effort. The kid's a star.
He is. I am really impressed with him. I am so excited to see how he grows in 205. But my question for you, mate, is where do you see Lio Rush going from here?
Where do I see Lio Rush going from here? It's a really good question. I could see him... See, the thing is, because he's a heel, essentially, the only other place for him to go is the Lucha House Party, probably, before going on to Cedric Alexander or Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali's kind of tied up at the moment with Hideo Itami and his whole exhaustion storyline. Maybe when he comes back, you could have, in the meantime, some jobbers for Lio Rush.
Yeah.
And he could call out, Mustafa Ali, some superstars get exhausted just from having one match every other week. He could do that kind of thing.
I like how that could work out.
Yeah, and then Mustafa Ali can come back and he can beg Drake to reinstate him so that he can sort of shut this kid up. But there aren't a lot of faces open right now. So unless he wants to go sort of tweener, because he is a heel that you could cheer, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So you could see him doing something with Gallagher or Brian Kendrick even as well. That would be some fantastic matches. I'm not sure, but I think there's a lot of ways he could go.
Yeah. I don't think he's ready to hunt for that Cruiserweight Championship yet.
Not yet.
I think you're right. I think having him either face off against jobbers or go do something with Lucha House Party, maybe even join 16 Reasons Why for a little bit and just say, hey, how about we're the Golden Reasons Why? I don't know, something I throw off the top of my head. And go into a 6-man tag with Lucha House Party.
Right, yeah, because the Lucha House Party, there are 3 of them. So with 16 Reasons Why, you could definitely... Golden Reasons Why, it's a bit close to Golden Elite.
Sure.
But I like it. So that would be a good way for him to go. I'm definitely curious what the future holds for Lio Rush. But 205 Live, they are fond of their jobber matches, so you could even just have him squashing dudes for a while. Yeah. And I wouldn't be complaining, because it's pretty good stuff.
Could we see the return of Sean Maluda with that?
Maybe we could get an angle with Lio Rush trying to teach Sean Maluda how to be better.
That would be cool.
Yeah. But we get Drew Gulak video package hyping up the championship match with Cedric, and then we see him backstage helping Jack Gallagher prepare. Then we get the announcers looking back at the match from last week with Mustafa Ali and Hideo Itami, and they talk about the potential health issues. Then Drake Maverick provides an update saying that he's recovering from severe exhaustion. Drake takes the blame because Ali has been working himself into the ground trying to get back into title contention. I thought that was pretty cool, but also a weak exhaustion. Yeah. I thought they were going with something more severe.
They should have gone with something more severe. Have him off for a few more weeks. Like exhaustion, you sleep for a week, you're back. Have him work off something more severe than that. They could have thought of something better.
Yeah, it just seems strange to me. And I thought it does leave things open for heels. Like, even if not Lio Rush, you could have a Buddy Murphy or someone like that very easily just be like, hey, exhaustion, I'm here every week. I'm here every night. I'm not exhausted. Like, well, how come this guy gets a pass?
Yeah,
like, it's
exactly
kind of ridiculous. Right. It's for a babyface to be let off because of exhaustion. It seems like something The Miz would do.
Yeah, but it's also the sort of thing that Miz would rip on as well, if you think about it.
Yeah, well, absolutely. But that's the thing with a heel, right? It's okay if I do it, but
Yeah.
but it's not. But essentially, it does. It seems like something that a heel would do. It would be like, I can't. Kevin Owens would be a better example too. I can't wrestle tonight.
Yes.
I'm severely exhausted.
Yeah.
Right. Like when Sami Zayn had vertigo. It's not a real thing. I don't know. I mean, it is a real thing, of course, but then we get Hideo Itami out for a match against a jobber, Trent Newman, and he just destroyed this kid.
I'm excited for this version of Hideo.
Yes. Referee stoppage. To have a match end by referee stoppage that's not a big match, that's just a jobber. Like, you could have pinned him 8 million times at this point, but you just keep going until he cannot go.
I really enjoyed it, and I think WWE needs to continue with this part of it, with when he's just taking out these jobbers and just pretty much destroying anyone in his path. He could destroy everyone up to the Cruiserweight Championship.
Yeah, make Hideo great again.
Yes.
It's fun. I love that he's becoming a killer again, because he was a killer before he came to NXT, before he came to 205 Live. He was an absolute killer. So, and I heard the kicks again. The kicks are coming back,
yes.
Right? Like, he's kicking with more ferocity than he's ever kicked in WWE.
I think that
makes me very happy.
I think that's also because the guys in 205 aren't afraid to take the kicks as well.
I don't think anyone who's on the WWE level is going to be afraid of taking kicks, Yeah. but I get what you're saying. They work that tighter style.
Yeah, definitely.
And then we get some more video packages. Cedric Alexander this time, and he's backstage warming up. Tony Nese and Buddy Murphy getting reamed out by Drake Maverick for Murphy interfering as an illegal man. And then he says that he's making it a tornado tag next week against Lucha House Party.
I don't know about you, but I'm excited to see this tornado tag. We haven't seen one in so long. It's exciting to bring them back.
I don't know. Tornado tags are a little weird for me. I like the dynamic of a standard tag team match. I like the opportunities it affords. A tornado tag just gets a bit chaotic sometimes, but chaotic can be good. I just don't think it's necessarily always good, but this isn't an always thing, so I'm interested to see how it goes. I thought it was weird that he said that it's what their specialty is, that like as if that's a thing that happens all the time in Mexico. From what I understand it, they do tag matches differently in Lucha. You can slide under the bottom rope, and as soon as your feet hit the outside, your partner is legal, right?
Huh.
But they don't just do tornado tags.
I don't even know they did that. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's a really cool thing. So it adds extra dynamics. So, like, for example, you arm drag your opponent, and he immediately slides under the bottom rope, and before you even know it, you're getting jumped from behind by his partner because he's the legal man now. It adds interesting dynamics if you ever watch Trios action, Atomico's action, or just, of course, tag team matches in Lucha promotions.
Yeah.
I think Chikara do their tags under those rules as well. And PWA in Sydney, they used to. I'm not sure if they still do, but it's definitely an interesting dynamic. But it's not a tornado tag, so I thought that was weird that he said that.
Yeah, maybe they could bring that sort of aspect in to say, hey, look, Lucha House Party are used to this, so you get used to their style too.
It would be cool. It would differentiate the 205 product. It would be cool if they had a tag team title for the Cruiserweights. I want to see 205 grow. Give it 2 hours, and because it's so good. It's such a good show. I want them to bring more people onto 205 Live. It's not like there's a lack of talent in America or around the world that would fit in that category.
Yeah. 205 Live has the potential to grow. Give them another hour, take an hour off Raw. Everyone wins.
Yeah, 100%. So then we get the main event, Jack Gallagher and Cedric Alexander. This was my match of the week.
Yeah?
For the entire company. I'm heavily biased towards I like Jack Gallagher's style, that British wrestling, catch wrestling, targeting a body part, and the story he told in this match where he wasn't even looking for a victory. The victory for him was weakening Cedric Alexander for Drew Gulak. And so he just kept working the neck, because that's going to weaken him up for the Gulak.
Yeah.
And I thought that was brilliant. Just such a great story. Got me really hyped for SummerSlam, really hoping they're on the main card. And yeah, it gave it match of the week for me.
Yeah, well, I can understand that. To be honest, I'm not really sure if I have a match of the week. But Yeah, like this was it was a really, really good match. Actually, yeah, I'd say this would be match of the week. Now that I'm going back and thinking about it, this would be my match of the week. Because yeah, you're right. It was brutal, it was fast paced, and it was everything that Drew Gulak would have wanted it to be.
It went for a solid 20-25 minutes too.
Yeah, which was good because it was a decent length for 205 to say, hey, we can do this sort of stuff too.
Yeah, it was a really fun match, and yeah, like I said, they set up the neck angle, so they've just been working on Alexander's neck, and after the match, Brian Kendrick comes in and attacks, and then Gulak from behind and locks in the Gulak, and then lays the title down on top of Cedric Alexander, like, enjoy it while it lasts kind of thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really fun go-home. It was probably the best go-home of the week as well, and I had a lot of fun watching that. That was probably the best episode of 205 in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'd say it's up there with one of the better ones.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's move on to NXT. Today's NXT was a decent episode. Again, we're looking at a bit of a mixed bag, but I thought that they recovered well from some of the things last week we talked about. But let's go through the card. So the first match was Street Profits versus the Mighty. Standard tag team match, isolate the babyface. He gets the tag. We know how it works at this point.
Yep.
The Mighty are very good at this kind of match. Street Profits get the win by holding the tights. I'm sorry, aren't you babyfaces?
Could this be leading to a heel turn? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I think that they're just... I mean, the commentators put it over as turnabout is fair play because Nick Miller was trying to hold the tights.
True.
But if you're a true babyface, turnabout is not fair play because the whole point is, no, I will win the right way, right? I mean, I don't know.
But
I just miss when good guys were good,
Yeah, I can understand that completely. But I think it's I think the way that they won was actually decent for the characterization of Street Profits for what they've done. But in a way as well, like you said, it's a heel move. Like, why are they pulling up a roll-up just to show, hey, we can do it too? I don't understand it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Is you say it's decent for the characterization of who the Street Profits are. And I think that's my problem, is I just don't like it. They're basically the equivalent of fun babyface happy to be here. Like, they're just happy-go-lucky, having a party all the time. But and it seems they've got a lot of black culture stereotypes plays into that as well, which, I mean, if that's what you want to do, I don't know how much of it is the writers and I don't know how much of it is them. So I'm a little bit, I don't know. It just seems they still seem really, really generic to me.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I've started to see a lot of their characters sort of die off in the last couple of weeks. Like, I've been a fan of them because I do enjoy, I don't know, I'm a big fan of what they could achieve. And I think my hopes are just sitting that bar too high. The last couple of weeks just haven't really done it for me, but I'm excited to see how they go.
And that's the other thing as well. After the match, so Montez Ford gets the win with a roll-up, grabs the tights, goes out of the ring, they jump over the barricade to party through the crowd or whatever, and he realizes he left his cup behind on the steel stairs, and instead of jumping back over and grabbing his cup, he makes the cameraman get it for him. Why? Are you scared? Because you're the babyface. You shouldn't be scared.
Please be leading towards a heel turn. Please. That's all I ask.
I don't know. It was weird. I didn't like it. Then we got Shayna Baszler. Talk about weird character moves. Shayna Baszler backstage giving advice to Aaliyah.
Yeah.
Because Aaliyah has a match with Kairi Sane. I thought it was weird at first because I'm like, look, Shayna Baszler's not nice to anyone.
No.
But we think that. But characters evolve, right? And the fact that even though she hates everyone and she isn't nice to anyone, well, actually, she does have friends, right? She has the 4 horsewomen that she's close with. So this is kind of a nice little piece of character growth because we're like, look, she can put aside her disdain for lesser people when it's going to benefit her.
Yeah, it was a good little bit. Like, to me, it shocked me to see that she was just talking to someone, to be honest. And then when it kind of showed a bit more that it was like, oh no, you're giving advice, that's... All right, where's this going? All right.
Yeah, if it became like a regular thing, I'd be a bit more worried. But then even then you can play it into an angle. Like if you're giving advice to someone, then they use that against you. Not that Aaliyah is ever going to have a shot at Shayna Baszler. Nope. Then we get the Undisputed Era doing Undisputed Era things.
Just trash talking everyone. That was great.
just with the music playing, and they're just talking over it. And that song's been in my head all day because of it too, because it went for like 4 minutes.
Yeah, that'll do that too.
I love it. It's a very NWO vibe. We talked about it before. They're hanging off the rafters, and yeah,
it's like a Shield mixed with NWO style. If you get what I mean.
Yeah, and so essentially they just talk about, they have all the gold, and they debuted at Brooklyn a year ago. I thought it was really fun.
Yeah, I think it adds to the character a little bit more. The more cocky heel stuff. I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah, then we get Kairi Sane versus Aaliyah, which was a better match than it had any right to be.
Yeah, I really, really liked Kairi Sane in this match.
Yeah, well, Aaliyah has clearly come a long way. I mean, anyone's going to look good in the ring with Kairi Sane. Let's say that first of all. Kairi Sane is one of the best workers under WWE contract. Full stop. Man, woman, in between, doesn't matter. She's one of the best in the world.
Yep, agreed.
And having her in there with rookies like Aaliyah is such a blessing. That's what's so great about the NXT system. It's such a blessing for these rookies to be able to work with someone like Kairi Sane in the ring, and made Aaliyah look like $1 million, even though she was getting absolutely destroyed, because Aaliyah has never had a match that looked this good before.
True. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen Aaliyah have as strong as a match as she did.
Yeah, and then right after Shayna Baszler, who was on guest commentary for this match, right after she pointed out that Kairi just doesn't have the killer instinct, Kairi snaps, gives 3 insane elbows, covers her, but picks her up at 2 to lock in the anchor lock, and just stares while upside down in that bridge position in the anchor lock, just stares at Shayna Baszler.
That was fantastic quality right there. That is Kairi Sane showing to Shayna Baszler that is, hey, look, this is what I'm going to do to you at TakeOver, so you better make sure you know this face, because it's what you're going to be seeing at the bottom of the mat.
Yeah, it was an intensity we haven't seen from her in NXT. We'd seen that kind of intensity from her back in her days in Stardom, but haven't seen it since. Like with the Mae Young Classic, she's just been fun-loving pirate babyface, but having that intensity, because the look on her face when she was like, no, after that first insane elbow, I'm going to go up again. The look on her face when she's just staring down the camera.
Yep.
It was money. It was absolute money. And then you just think, oh, well, it's going to get ruined when it goes up to the main roster, because you look at Asuka. Because Asuka was money too. So
yeah, I'm worried about how Kairi Sane goes on the main roster, but
for now, let's enjoy it.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to see what happens at Brooklyn. So far, we've had, this segment's starting to get me hyped up again. I'm getting hyped up for NXT. I'm getting hyped up for TakeOver. Then we have more video packages, Adam Cole and Ricochet. Ricochet closes things out saying he wants to make the North American title the most important title in NXT, which is something he says Cole is failing at. I still just disagree with him.
No.
I don't think he's watching the same Adam Cole I am.
I don't think so. I really don't.
It's weird. Like if Adam Cole had not been defending the title, if Adam Cole had not gone and had a match in Evolve against Walter, if Adam Cole had not defended the title in the UK, I mean, maybe then you could say all this stuff, but he's been a fighting champion. I don't see where anyone on the staff thought that this was a smart idea for an angle for Ricochet to take.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. Like, he's even defended against Oney Lorcan, and that was a good match. I don't understand where the writers are bringing for this for Ricochet. Like, I just don't understand.
It's just an odd angle for Ricochet to be taking, and I'm surprised no one has picked up that this kind of falls flat. It doesn't make sense. I think it's weird. Then we get Velveteen Dream coming to the ring, and this one was good because it recovered from last week. Last week's was pretty abysmal. They did the whole cinematic thing at the pool with Velveteen Dream getting pushed into the pool, and we talked about it last week. We just thought it was childish and weird. And this week, it wasn't the best, but it was better.
I think if they did another segment like they did last week, they would have lost all momentum they had for this match going into TakeOver.
Yeah, but this segment returned some of the momentum. So essentially, Dream comes out and he just talks some trash, and then EC3 comes out and he talks some trash, and they go back and forth. There weren't really any major good lines or anything. There weren't really any major zingers, but they go back and forth, and then they end up fighting. They brawl for a little while, with EC3 getting the upper hand.
Yep.
That is really good for me, because essentially what I'm looking at here is Velveteen Dream is one of the best in NXT. He's been on a tear, and he's been able to look good and grow in losses, right? Like that's been it's actually become his thing, kind of. He loses big matches, but he turns them into victories for himself.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And he makes the programs gold. This program has not been gold, and so for Dream to come out still looking as good as he has, he needs to beat EC3. EC3 will not be hurt from a loss to Velveteen Dream, but Velveteen Dream here, with the way his career has been, will definitely be hurt from a loss to EC3. So EC3 getting the upper hand really got me excited, because I'm like, that might mean that Velveteen Dream's going to win at TakeOver. I hope.
Let's hope.
Would you agree that he needs the win here?
He does, yeah. He does need the win due to the fact that, yes, as you said, he's been building his career off a lot of losses at the moment, and I think just out of everything that he's been going through with all the programs that he's had, he needs to have this win over EC3.
Yeah, well, he's benefited from great storytelling in the Aleister Black program. He's benefited from great chemistry in the Ricochet program. Neither of those are present here with EC3,
no,
that I can tell. They might have chemistry in ring, but I haven't picked up on it. They definitely don't have chemistry in promos together. So I really think he needs to win and put this behind him, because it's not looking good at the moment.
Yeah, let's just see how the match plays out at TakeOver, and hopefully it just all works well for the best.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we get some coverage of the Aleister Black mystery attack. They analyze the footage showing who's around. So there was a lot more people around than I realized. I didn't even notice Johnny Gargano coming in the door. That's how pathetic I am.
No, I'm right with you. I did not see that either.
So, unless they reshot, I'm going to have to go back and watch the original clip. But yeah, it was, they analyzed it and everyone's a suspect. I love it. It reminds me of Stone Cold Steve Austin, who ran him over.
Yep.
But hopefully they don't fudge the ending in this one, and it's actually a good ending.
You know what would make this even funnier for me? The fact that out of all of it, I reckon someone should have hired Shayna Baszler to take him out.
Yeah.
That's why I say, because it definitely won't be that. But I like the idea of it being like, hey, I'm too much of a suspect to do it, and I know for a fact that you've got the strength. Can you do me a favor?
I want it to be Ricochet, so he can say, I did it for The Rock. That's what I want.
All right, and just have The Rock just randomly come out at the next TakeOver, just being like, thanks, little buddy.
Maybe we send Roman Reigns back and he did it for The Rock.
Oh, wow.
He goes back to NXT after losing for the billionth time at SummerSlam.
And does he just rebuild his character as Leaky?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, do it. Why not? Let's do it. Absolutely. Complete reinvention. I did it for The Rock.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we get the main event, which is Tyler Bate versus Roderick Strong 1-on-1. This match was a little bit short for my liking. They didn't really get to kick it into the highest gear. I feel like if you took out some of the hype video packages, you could have had a really good match here, and then had a pre-show for NXT TakeOver with the hype packages.
Yeah. That's
just me. I like my wrestling show to be my wrestling show, and I want my pre-show hype to be my pre-show hype.
No, I'm right with you there. I reckon get rid of 80% of the promos that they had this week for NXT and just fill it with Tyler Bate versus Roderick Strong.
Yeah, because these guys can go that extra gear, but I guess, starving us of the extra gear makes us want to watch the pay-per-view more, because we know they have more. So it was a good TV match. It was good. I think it went for about 9 minutes or so, and O'Reilly causes the distraction, gives Strong time to get a brief comeback, goes for the pin, but it doesn't work, and Tyler Bate overcomes the distraction, hits the Tyler Driver 97, and gets the pinfall going into the tag team title match.
Yeah, which I think has given Mustache Mountain a really good momentum boost, and it's what they needed.
Yeah, exactly. They needed the extra momentum going into the pay-per-view, but it also has that downfall. I know it's a bit of a trope, but a lot of times the person who comes out on top on the go-home is not the person who comes out on top at the show.
However, WWE have been known to swerve us, so you never know.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I'm hoping that I'm right about it for Velveteen Dream, and it means he's coming out on top because he didn't tonight. But I think I want Moustache Mountain to regain the titles. I don't think it's likely, because I think they're going to head over to NXT UK and do some stuff there.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's where they're heading next.
All right, cool. So then that does it for NXT. Let's have a look at the main roster, starting, of course, with Monday Night Raw. I thought it was a serviceable go-home show.
It was decent. It definitely had some of the build that it needed.
Highlight of the night, of course, was the bat at ringside during Alexa Bliss versus Ember Moon, distracting Ronda Rousey.
I am so glad you brought that up. As I was watching it, I noticed Ronda was looking behind her, and I didn't realize what it was until WWE actually scanned to it, and I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was odd. I thought she was just looking over her shoulder to see if Alexa Bliss had any friends, I guess. It was...
Yeah.
It was definitely... it was odd to see her acting that way, but then when they put it all up on the WWE social media, it was fun.
Yeah.
I had one thing that really annoyed me. So we've got to talk about, of course, the big thing for the night, in all honesty, was not the bat. The big thing for the night, the highlight of the night, was Renee Young on commentary.
Yes. I am so glad that WWE have given her this opportunity to be able to push for this.
Yeah, it was really good, and I'm looking for... I hope she will get the nod to call the Evolution show. I'm looking forward to hearing her call the Mae Young Classic. It was just refreshing to hear her in the booth again.
Yeah.
She's so much better than Byron Saxton, and it's a new voice, and it's a voice that I missed because she used to commentate on Superstars way back in the day. She used to commentate on NXT, and I was always a big fan. She has really good chemistry with Corey Graves, and even Michael Cole was more tolerable because her voice was there. But I did have one thing in this first match that really annoyed me.
Yeah.
The first 15 minutes of the show, and they've already turned to Renee and asked her specifically about Alicia Fox's fashion choices. Now, I understand. I listen to Renee Young's podcast. I understand that she is very much about the fashion. She is very much a girly girl. She's all about talking about the fashion, about the makeup, about all the things. Her podcast is a podcast for girls. Yeah. It's weird that I listen to it, but I do because I love Renee Young that much. She's a star. She's an absolute star. I've talked about this so many times. You're probably getting sick of hearing it at this point. People are hitting that skip 15 seconds button. But it annoyed me that they directly asked her how you set something like that up in future, Corey Graves. Especially Corey Graves asking her about fashion is weird because Corey Graves is a very fashionable individual himself.
But I think being, as you just said, he is a fashionable person. I think if it had come from Michael Cole, it would have been so much different and it would have been so much backlash about it. But I think because it came from Corey...
the way Corey framed it was... He actually said, you're a very fashionable individual. He framed it to her in kind of the way you would expect Vince McMahon to. You're a woman, you know about fashion, right?
Yeah.
Of course, as a fan of Renee Young, I do know she is a very fashion-conscious individual. But the way I would set it up would be sort of it's an odd fashion choice for Alicia Fox, and then let her run with it, right? Because she can talk about it then. But if you put it on her well, you're the person here who's here to talk about their fashion choices, it just felt kind of tacky and gross.
Which I can see that, yeah.
Yeah, I think there was a better way to go with it because it suits Renee Young's character to talk about those things, and it's an extra insight that we don't get. And I talked about it last week, right? Making the superstars sexy again, not in a super objectified way, but in the way that, New Japan embrace male hotness too, right? I think there's nothing wrong with that and talking about these things, but make it make sense.
Which I think, once we actually jump over to SmackDown, they're slowly starting to do with Carmella's character.
Yeah, Carmella's whole thing about being a diva was kind of cool, but I've got some things to say about that as well. So let's keep going with Raw. So it started, we've talked about Renee Young now. I'll try not to bring her up too much more, but
I'll start the tally now, shall I?
No, I'll keep her out. She did such a good job, and I'm really happy for her. And yeah, I can't wait to hear more. I hope she ends up being the first full-time.
Well, I'm pretty sure WWE have announced that that going forward that she will be on the commentary team.
I saw some things that she's definitely being considered for more, but at this point that it was just a fill-in. She was just filling in while he wasn't there. So we'll see where it goes. I definitely prefer her in the bit. Sorry, Byron.
Don't apologize, man. I honestly think Lars Sullivan could do a better job than Byron Saxton can.
That's a big call.
I don't like Byron Saxton. I'll be honest with you.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So let's talk about the actual show.
Yes.
So Ember Moon defeats Alexa Bliss by DQ. It was a good match. It wasn't great. And it just ended with Alicia Fox getting involved. And
Yeah.
Alicia Fox was dressed as, to be fair to Corey Graves, she was dressed as a leaf.
I saw a picture on Facebook of her and a Pokemon called Sudowoodo side by side, and I think that is the perfect match out of that.
That is amazing. You have to send that to me. And that has to be the picture for this episode
I'll find
because
it for
I
you.
didn't see that. But that is amazing. I love... Oh, God. Sudowoodo. Wow. Good work, Internet.
Yes.
Good work. All right, so major talking points from Raw. We have some build towards Alexa Bliss and Ronda Rousey. You know, Bliss gives a promo before the match, basically saying things like, you're an overhyped rookie, stuff we've heard before, to be honest with you.
Same thing every week.
Yeah, it is. It's another one of those treading water moments. And then we get a DQ finish, which is just more treading water. You know, not having anyone decisively winning. It's kind of a bit of a trope sometimes on Raw. Ember Moon, though, in the match itself, always a great performance, Ember Moon.
Yeah. I actually think having this DQ finish was good because it didn't hurt either character, which was really good.
No, it doesn't hurt either character, but it hurts the show.
Yeah, but I suppose they were within the first hour. Like Raw could make it up for it somewhere down the line, maybe.
I mean, do you want to tell me that if Ember Moon took a loss to the champion, that hurts Ember Moon's character?
No, but it would knock her down the rungs a little bit up for later on down the track.
No, it wouldn't. You just give her... she's a babyface, man. You give her a promo in the back talking about... like one of them WWE.com promos where she talks about, I lost to the champion. She showed me what it's like to be in there in the ring with a champion, and now I'm that much more hungry, and now I'm going to get it. That's all you have to do.
Point.
That's all you have to do with a babyface, and then she didn't get hurt at all. She lost to the champion. Yeah. And there were ringside distractions going on, you know?
Yeah, that's true. So I can see where you're coming from there. Yeah, that could have ended with a clean.
Yeah, or even giving Alexa Bliss the loss too wouldn't hurt her because she's the coward heel. She's the crybaby heel. She can complain about it not being fair. Ronda Rousey was at ringside. She couldn't focus. There was a bat flying around. You know, there's a million ways Alexa Bliss can take the heat off herself, and it doesn't hurt either character if you have a clean loss.
Good point.
So but it does hurt the show if you don't have a clean loss. It's just a little thing that, being a little more old school in my mentality, I suppose, it can frustrate me sometimes.
Yeah.
We got some more Baron Corbin stuff with going towards his match with Finn Balor. I still just don't care.
No, I don't care about this. I'd like to see them.
I enjoy having a hierarchy though, so having Breeze come out to lose some matches is good, as opposed to just having him not on TV while his partner's injured. I think that's fun.
Yeah, I actually like the fact that they've kept him on TV too.
Yeah, and I don't care that he's losing, because there should be a hierarchy in wrestling. This is where I like clean losses.
Yeah.
Let's start a tally for that one. I like clean losses. This was good. I've changed my mind. It's made me more excited for Finn Balor match because there was a clean loss.
Yeah,
makes me happy.
I think with this match just doesn't have the hype for me. I'm really not excited for this match.
Right. So after Baron Corbin's match, he basically calls out Finn Balor. Finn Balor's coming out for his match. Yep. And then Baron Corbin makes it a handicap match instead of a one-on-one match, but then Kurt Angle comes out and evens the odds and makes it a tag match. So we get some build to Kevin Owens and Braun Strowman at the same time as the Baron Corbin stuff's going on. And Jinder Mahal's there.
Yeah.
So that's fun. Breathe.
Yeah.
With the Maharaja. I want him to come out with a shirt that looks like Jay White's Breathe with the Switchblade shirt that just says Breathe with the Maharaja, because I think it'd be a nice little knock at New Japan. But I don't think anyone knows what's going on with Jay White.
Not.
I may be wrong. But Breathe with the Maharaja, that would be nice. A nice little shot. Do you have anything else to say about this match, though?
No, really. It's really funny with this match. I just wasn't interested in it. I like the build that they're having with Kevin Owens and Braun. I like the little friendship that they've got going on with Jinder Mahal and Kevin Owens. But it's not doing anything for me.
See, that's the best thing about this entire segment for me is Kevin Owens and Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal as Kevin Owens' personal guru is the best thing about all of this, which is weird to me. How is Jinder Mahal the highlight of a program that includes Kevin Owens?
Yeah, it's a very rare, very, very rare thing. But it's
good for him. Good for Jinder Mahal making something work. You know, he is one of those guys that just makes things work when he's given them, right? Like Damian Sandow was really great at it too. He'd be given absolute crap and he would make it work. And Jinder Mahal is doing that.
Yeah, I think Jinder Mahal with a bit more work, he could add a bit more to it. Like he's improving with it, but to be honest, if they make him too big, it's gonna just overshadow the whole Kevin Owens Braun Strowman feud. That's what I'm worried about.
It's weird for Kevin Owens. It's weird for Kevin Owens to have a personal guru, though. It suits more of a. I feel like Chris Jericho, if he was to come back, having a personal guru as a rock star would be really fun. But I'm curious to see where it goes. I'm more curious about that than I am about Kevin Owens and Braun Strowman. I'm more curious about that than I am about Finn Balor and Baron Corbin. It's weird. It's so weird, but I just don't care. And I've had a lot of people tell me this week that they thought Raw was really good, and I don't know why I didn't. I don't know. I don't know if it's because of the G1 fatigue that I was, because this was the day after the G1 finals. You know, I don't know. All I know is that I didn't find it enjoyable, and I'm not hyped up for any of these matches.
Yeah, I think their build-up for SummerSlam, it hasn't been as good as what the G1 has been able to put on. So therefore, a lot of people who have been watching the G1 aren't as interested in this time.
Well, I don't know. I feel bad. I feel bad judging it like that. But Ziggler and McIntyre, their whole thing with Seth Rollins and now Dean Ambrose, spoiler alert, Dean Ambrose returned and he looks jacked. Yes.
As soon as he actually came out, that was the first thing I noticed. I'm like, his shoulders are a lot bigger.
Yeah, well, it's the whole thing, right? Because he's shaved the hair and he's got the little bit of a beard thing going on. So he's shaved the hair, he's got the little goatee going on, and those things make you look slimmer.
Yeah,
already.
That's exactly right.
And those things make you look leaner. And then he's just looking really broad. And his singlet, he's wearing a different cut of singlet that more exposes the chest muscles and the shoulder muscles than the like. You can see more of his traps than you could in the other singlet. And so the whole look. He just looked a lot meaner. He did. Which, given that he's a lunatic, right, you want him to look mean.
And I think this is going to work really, really well for him now. There's a whole new look. It's just... I think it's going to reinvent his character.
Yeah, I'm still holding out hope for a turn.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, without a doubt.
I want him to turn at SummerSlam on... I don't want him to align with Ziggler and McIntyre. I want him to destroy all three of them.
Yeah, and just being like,
I want him to destroy all three of them and just be like, this is all bullshit, you know?
Yeah. I can say it. Just being like, you know what, guys? I've had enough of your petty crap. You've just dragged me into something I didn't want to be involved in, so I've had enough.
Yeah. Would be fun to see him then go for his Intercontinental title and take that back, because he had a good run with that.
He really did.
Another highlight of the night, though, this was something I did really enjoy. Ricky Roberts, the cowboy with the guitar, right? And he's a big Elias fan, and he's so excited to meet Elias, and Elias is like, yeah, all right, kid. You know, he just heels on the crowd, heels on the kid. And then this kid hits Bobby Lashley with the guitar. Bobby Lashley no-sells it.
I know. Come on, at least act like you're hurt for a little bit.
Nah, I'm more excited for Lashley than I've ever been in his life.
Really?
No selling the guitar shot from the kid that Elias is ripping. I thought it was brilliant. I loved every second of this segment. I'm not a fan of Bobby Lashley. We know that. He's been boring to me ever since his way back when with the 2006 run. I've never been a fan of Bobby Lashley. But this segment was probably the best thing Bobby Lashley's done in his career.
See, where I'm completely different. Like, I loved Bobby Lashley back in 2006 with that ECW run. But yeah, this was just... I didn't understand this at all. Like, he just no-sold that shot.
You know what the best thing about Bobby Lashley in 2006 in ECW and all that was? He introduced Vince McMahon to do-rags.
Yep.
And we got that picture of Vince in the do-rag. That's the only good thing that came from Bobby Lashley, as far as I'm concerned, was Vince in a do-rag.
No, it's funny.
Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel doing math was fun. Just, I don't know. Once again, Babyface is just trashing the idea of being smart. It's a pet peeve of mine, but they're very funny. So
I think with those two guys, they're those guys like Axel and Dallas can just, whatever character you throw at them, they could just take off with it.
Yeah, they are a lot of fun, and I look forward to them losing the tag team titles at SummerSlam.
Just look forward to them losing. That's so bad.
Yeah, look, they've had their moment. Okay,
yeah, you're right.
Just go away, but just go away before it gets old, and let the top guys do top guy things with some top guy belts. You know?
Yeah, I can understand that, but that was just savage.
The disrespect that Dash and Dawson have had to endure needs to stop. It needs to stop now, and they need to be recognized as the greatest tag team in the world.
You really like Dash and Dawson, don't you?
I really do. You know how I told you when I buy wrestling toys for my kids, I always buy the ones that they like. So they have the Usos, because they like the Usos. They have the New Day because they like the New Day. Well, they have Dash and Dawson because Dash and Dawson are the best, and my kids are going to like the best whether they like it or not. At the end of the day, man, I got to do something for me as well. Dash and Dawson, best tag team in the world. And we're going to talk about this on the All In cast. I have some theories about where All In is going, and I think Dash and Dawson are gonna have a feud with the Young Bucks.
Oh,
but we'll talk about that on our All In podcast. Let's get back to Raw. Roman Reigns.
Ugh.
Really,
this segment was just boring. Actually, let me.
I enjoyed it until the end.
Let me correct that. I didn't enjoy it up until Brock's music hit.
So we're the opposite.
We are.
Because I enjoyed it until he got hit with the pepper spray. Because to me, like, especially when Paul did the whole Samoan thing, I'd never seen Roman act so well in my life. When Paul did the whole speaking Samoan, and Roman was like, he actually looked taken aback. Like, oh, he just said something that I can trust, maybe. Or, like, he wasn't sure what was going on, and then he took the paper and he's looking over it. And then they screwed it, because here's the thing. I talk about the character needing something new, right?
Yes.
Now, I don't want to see Paul Heyman with Roman Reigns necessarily, but I do want to see something new for Roman Reigns. And this was something new for Roman Reigns. Even the consideration. If you left it open going into SummerSlam, I can go into SummerSlam thinking, am I going to get something new from Roman Reigns? And that will make me more excited for the match than, no, it's the same story. It's just with an even bigger monster heel that he's never been able to overcome before. If he'd overcome the monster heel before and then the monster heel got bigger and badder and he had to overcome him again, then maybe I'd be interested. But I'm not interested. This is boring. This is stupid. And you're doing the same shit.
I can understand that. I can see where you're coming from. But to me, the way I saw it was like, all right, Paul Heyman's trying to play the good guy. He's trying to get on the side of Roman Reigns because he knows that Roman Reigns can beat Brock Lesnar. So I can say, oh, okay, you're going to be on the winning side. Maybe I need to help you out with this, and I could be your advocate, and I could help you. Just like I helped your father once. I helped your uncle. Like, going back all of those, you'd be like, I could help that entire family, right? However, as soon as Reigns was like, nah, stick it, I don't care. The pepper spray comes out, and then Brock comes out as well. To me, that's where it got exciting, because I'm like, oh, yay, okay, so we're actually going to get a fight. Yeah, we're going to see Brock go over in this point, which we saw. There could be, hey, yeah, we've got the Monster Heel coming in. We have the domination of the Beast and his advocate. But if you noticed, Paul Heyman was taking a really, really close look at the Universal Championship near the end of it. In a way where the look on his face was, you're going to be changing. You're going somewhere else. Like, that's the feeling that I got. I think Paul Heyman's already got someone lined up.
Yeah, maybe Kevin Owens, potentially. But, I don't know, to me, it just felt weird on so many levels. Like I said, they teased something new for Roman Reigns and then completely cut it off, which was frustrating. And then as well, why would Brock Lesnar do this? So this is a 3-week plan, right? This is a 3-week plan with deception and ridiculousness. Why? why would Brock Lesnar agree to this plan, even if Paul Heyman comes up with this plan and he's like, trust me, I'm Paul Heyman. When have I ever done you wrong, kid? You know, why would you agree to this plan when you've beaten Roman Reigns how many times now? How many matches have they had? 6,
something
7,
like that.
8,999,000, and you've beaten him every time. Why do you need to pepper spray him and attack him? He is scum on your shoe. You squash him every time without fail. You don't need this bullshit. It makes no sense at
Maybe,
all. At all.
what if Paul Heyman plays it with the fact that he didn't actually know that Brock was there? He had no idea. Maybe they could play it off like that.
That would be even stupider. I don't know. I didn't like it. I liked it until I didn't. That's kind of the story with Raw. I liked it until I didn't. Then we got. How did you feel? I guess that's something else to mention quickly. How did you feel about Ronda giving the memorial speech for Jim Neidhart? Because some people were a bit upset about that. I thought it was fine.
To me, I found it was fine, but I think it was more. I was more annoyed with that segment, with the way that they segmented into the SummerSlam hype. I think she should have just done a quick 30-second, we lost someone really important. I feel sorry for my friend Natalia. My best wishes are with her. And in a sense, leave the ring. For her being like, losing someone...
But she had to introduce... But it made sense because she introduced the opponent for Alexa Bliss tonight because it wasn't going to be Natty anymore.
Yeah, which I do understand that. But I don't know, just something about it. I really loved the fact that, yes, she was there to support her friend, and she was here to say, look, I'm sorry, Natty. We all love you and we all give you our support. But then, here's my hype for my match at SummerSlam. I don't know, it just...
Yeah, well, I know. I've been predicting a Natty heel turn at SummerSlam. Needless to say, that is off the table as far as I'm concerned. I don't think that that's going to be happening anymore.
No, I think you're right. I think this could go one of two ways. Natty could give the approval to the writers to say, hey, use it as a way of saying, I've lost everything, I'm not losing that championship too. Or it could be a way of Natty just redeeming herself, being like, I now need to win that championship for my dad.
Right. If they play that into the story, though, I don't know how well it'll play out.
It could play out as a face move if they do it right. And Natty, I know Natty can do it right. Is the fact that it can work as a face move, and they can still have use that whole segment.
Fair enough. Then, I guess the only other thing from Raw, because we already talked about Dean Ambrose, which was the main event thing. The only other thing from Raw was the Riot Squad defeating Sasha and Bayley. I thought that was nice. Do they have anything at SummerSlam? I don't think they do.
No, there's nothing for any of them at the moment.
Which is odd, but considering Riot Squad are a highlight of Raw and SmackDown, and since actually getting on the same page and teaming, the Boss and Hug connection have been really fun. It sucks that there's nothing for them at the pay-per-view. Maybe that'll change last minute, but it is what it is. I really enjoyed this match. Ruby Riott, it's so good to have her back. Yes. And she got the win, which is always fun.
It's always good to see her win.
I actually tweeted out straight after that match that Ruby Riott is hands down one of the best talents in the company, and they got more likes and retweets than I've ever gotten on Twitter in my life. So people agree with me. So I think big things for Ruby Riott.
Yeah, I can see her going forward in this women's evolution.
Yeah, absolutely. So then we got SmackDown. SmackDown was a lot better than Raw, again, for me, as far as I'm concerned. I think it might be the 3-hour versus 2-hour thing.
I think you're right. I think it's quality over content at the moment.
Yeah. So Charlotte, Becky, Carmella opened the show. I thought that was a little weird, having them open the show. Like, why aren't they beating the hell out of each other? They're all just standing there in the ring next to each other. Like, we're going to talk for a while.
It was almost as if they were all watching the TV sideways.
But yeah,
what?
And it just took me out of it a little. I'm meant to be excited for watching these three beat the hell out of each other, right? Yeah. Why are they just standing?
No, that's exactly right.
I don't know.
But what got me was it actually felt rushed, if that makes sense. Becky Lynch and Charlotte spoke for maybe 2 minutes? And then Carmella had like the rest of the time before this match was announced. Like, it's as if they're trying not to have Charlotte and Becky say anything for this match.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what could have made it better. It just felt weird to me. I did enjoy them making fun of Carmella for being more concerned about her appearance or whatever, and then Carmella saying, "Yeah, I am."
Yes.
Because I'm a diva.
Yeah.
I'm proud to be a diva. I love that. I love that she can take what is a criticism of her and own it and be like, yes. And I think that's a good thing. Because that's the thing is, a lot of the time when people have a criticism about you, sometimes you'll think, wait, I know that, and I think that is a good thing about myself. I don't know. That happens to me a lot, right? Like, people will say something like it's bad, and I'll be like, wait, isn't that one of my good qualities?
Yeah. I'm right with you there.
So I love when a character does that, and she owned it, and she was like, yes, I am a diva, and that makes me better than you. And I'm like, Queen, I'm on your side.
Yep.
I want Carmella to walk out with the strap down.
No, I like the way that they're doing the whole Carmella is the diva in a woman's world. Like, I like the idea, but...
Do you think it feels like a response to Scarlett Bordeaux, though? Are you across Impact at all?
Not as much, no.
Okay, so on Impact, there's a new character called Scarlett Bordeaux, and her whole thing, she's a heel, and she comes out and she wants to make wrestling sexy again. She thinks that it should go back to the era of, pillow fights, bras and panties, and, she's just too scared to get in the ring with all these women because they're just so mean and nasty, and she uses her sex appeal to get what she wants, and she has this guy who was an announcer, and he kind of follows her around, and he's a babbling mess around her. Do you think it's a response to that? Because WWE,
I think so.
Because that's kind of a response to WWE's evolution, and so now it seems like they're responding to that, being like, yeah, well, we've got one too. I don't know. It seems a bit weird.
I can understand that, but I think that version of Carmella would work better on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. Oh no, it works. I think it definitely works better around Charlotte.
Just around Charlotte in general.
Yeah, because Charlotte is sort of the poster girl for that. Look, we have women athletes.
True. Yeah.
Maybe it would work in opposition to Ronda, but I don't think it would, because Ronda would just, kill her.
I think just the stare from Ronda would hurt. Carmella. That's all it is.
Yeah. So I loved Paige telling Carmella that what she does best is talk, and so putting her on guest commentary was the best move. I thought that was fun.
I have a slight feeling that Paige is right there.
Yeah, so Becky wins. It's a tag match against Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. Becky wins with a disarm.
My main question about that match, though, is whatever happened to them calling them Absolution?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess because Paige was the starter of Absolution. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. It just kind of dropped off the face of the planet. I just like the tag name.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's a little weird. Maybe they did call them Absolution. I just didn't notice it.
They used to call them what was Absolution. That's what they used, is when they were Absolution. I was like, oh, they're not now?
Right. Well, Absolution was the 3-man team, not the tag team. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
That, like, for example, you've got in Ring of Honor, you've got SCU, SoCal Uncensored, but that's the trio. When it's just Kazarian and Daniels, they're the Addiction. They're not SCU. So I don't know. I can see why, but you would think they'd have another name for them. But it is what it is. Becky wrestled the whole match, though.
Which was I like that. I really do like that.
Yeah. I like it when if you can wrestle the whole match and win. Like, so when Roman Reigns did it on Raw, it was terrible and stupid, right? Because he lost. But Becky won.
Submission.
Yeah.
Like, that shows that she can definitely take out Charlotte and Carmella.
Yeah, absolutely. But I still think Carmella finds a sneaky way to win. Moving on, we get Ms. and Mrs. promo, so they've been renewed for a second season. Good for them.
I'm actually still yet to watch it. I really want to. I actually want to watch it. That's how bad it is. I actually want to watch it.
Look, I will admit I have watched plenty of Total Divas. I have watched plenty of Total Bellas. They're kind of a guilty pleasure, but I haven't watched in the last 2 years probably. So I don't know. I'd like to get around to it, but I just don't think I will.
Yeah. You'll get around to it when
But good for
season
them
3
that
gets
it's
renewed.
Yeah, good for them that it's going well. Then we get another squash by the Bludgeon Brothers. I like that they're taking on 3-man teams
Yeah, I like that.
because they're going against the New Day. It's like this subtle little, like, it hasn't been explicitly said. Like, they're taking on the New Day. There's 3 of the New Day, and now they're facing all these 3-man teams from local companies. They're just doing it without beating you over the head with it. I like it when I'm not being beat over the head with something and just get to notice it. They're taking on these 3-man teams, showing that they can beat all 3.
Yeah.
And they will do that for the New Day. I think that's fun.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I like that.
Sanity versus New Day. New Day win, getting getting themselves some momentum going into the triple threat. This was probably the second best match of the week from WWE.
Yeah, I did enjoy this match. Yeah, definitely.
Paige with Samoa Joe talking to him about being professional, and it's the weirdest thing because she chose him for being unpredictable. And he points that out. He's like, you told me you were choosing me because I'm unpredictable, and now you want me to be professional? Like, make up your damn mind.
Yeah.
Which is one of those things is weird. Like, she's doing a real good job as GM, but I thought that was weird.
Yeah, she's doing, like we've been saying, she has been doing it really well as general manager, but lately some of the things that she's been coming out with is just odd.
Yeah, it's a little strange. Then we get Almas and Aiden English. So Almas defeats Aiden English pretty easily. It wasn't really...
It's pretty much another squash match, really.
Yeah, Selena Vega cuts a promo, says Lana is dead weight holding down Rusev, so then Rusev and Lana come out, and they go back and forth a little, and it's like, we're going to crush you. You know, it was good. I'm a little hyped for this, not major hype.
I think it's one of those matches that where you're like, all right, I'd sit and watch it. I won't walk up and get a sandwich or something.
Yeah. Then we get AJ talking to Paige about being professional, and he's just doing a bit of...
Pretty much,
yeah. Bit of a butt kiss, like, I can be professional, I'm a champion. I don't know.
No, I'm right with you.
That's how it came across to me. It's probably not how it was, but that's how it came across to me.
I think you're right. That's actually what I got, because to me, I was just kind of like, wow, AJ, could you not suck up any harder?
He says that he made his wife a promise, and he intends to keep it. So, I don't know. It's a little strange. Then we got, later on in the show, we'll just skip straight to it, when Joe came out during the AJ promo. So AJ goes out, cuts a promo about, about everything that's been happening with Joe, bringing his wife and kids into it. And then Joe comes out and reads a letter that he got from a fan. And the letter claims to be from AJ Styles' wife about how she lost AJ Styles a long time ago. And so she hopes that Joe takes the title so that AJ can know what it's like to lose what he loves. I thought that was great.
I actually really liked that. Last week, I hated the fact that he actually got personal and bring families into it. To me, I don't know. I'm a really big fan of sports entertainment. But when it comes to bringing a performer's family into things, I'm not such a big fan of it. And I wasn't the week before when Joe brought up the family. I was so against it. But then when they brought it up again here, I was like, okay, that actually worked. That's bad.
See, I love it. I love when it gets personal like that. As long as it's done well and it's not... I mean, as long as it's not DDP stalking The Undertaker's wife, If it's done well, I think it's really fun. WWE have a history of not doing personal well.
Yeah, they
That's
do.
the problem. But when personal is done well, it adds so much. Having a intensely personal feud adds so much to a show. And AJ and Joe are doing a real good job with it. I thought it was weird. So that promo we're talking about was the go home segment, and SmackDown just kind of ended.
Yeah.
It felt rushed.
It did. I think they actually ran out of time. I think that's more than what it was, because pretty much...
Because it didn't even end with the announcers. It just ended.
Which I think was a good touch, but if you notice later on WWE.com or on the WWE YouTube channel, they had that little backstage segment was AJ where AJ was actually going nuts at Samoa Joe. He's like, let's not wait. I'm gonna hit you right now.
Yeah, like maybe that was supposed to happen, but they ran out of time.
I think that's what would have happened, and WWE were like, just throw it up on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, see, if that's the case, they could have just cut all the Shelton Benjamin, Jeff Hardy
Oh,
stuff,
right, that
to
happened.
be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, Jeff Hardy coming out like nothing happened last week. Like, he's still got his face paint on, he's still got and it's just like, yeah, it was nothing, you know? And then he ends up getting attacked by Shinsuke because they have a match at SummerSlam, not Randy Orton, who is watching from the sidelines, being all creepy. It was just weird. And I guess the assumption is he's going to get involved in the match at SummerSlam. At which point, like, why are we... Like, that is the biggest tread water. That's literally you've tread water for a month, if that happens.
Yes.
It just seems really strange. Like, just let someone get a clean win. Like, let Shinsuke just be a champion and win matches.
I think that's what will happen.
What's so hard about that?
I would like to see that happen, but then Randy get involved in some aspect afterwards.
Afterwards, that would be nice. Or even if he comes out to get involved after the match, like, but then realizes, you know what, Shinsuke already did it. I don't need to do anything, and then goes back and then just cuts a promo about it. Because I don't know, it just seems too samey, and like I said, they're treading water, and it's that's the thing that frustrates me about WWE is the water tread. And I really enjoyed Randy Orton's return. Well, not the return so much because I thought it was kind of tacky, but when he finally gave his explanation, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. But then we start treading water, and it's like, come on, man. And then there's, of course, the backstage allegations, which I'll talk about on the news show tomorrow. But Randy Orton's in a weird place for me.
Yeah, I think right now his character is at that in-between spot where you don't know if he's going to proceed with this whole Jeff Hardy thing or if he's just going to fade off into the shadows again for a little bit.
Yeah, so as far as I'm concerned, cut that from the show and give more time to the main event bit because that was way more interesting, and what happened after the show was more interesting.
Can I just put this out there as well? The whole build between Miz and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, I left it out for a reason. We will come into that last, definitely. How good was it?
I love it.
This is what it needed, because we know the story, but you need to recap the entire story.
I love that they brought it in. The fact that Miz was the pro, he was a triple champion, he was the thing with the WWE when Daniel Bryan walked in.
Yeah.
And I just love how Miz is constantly using I've been the it factor for WWE. I was the it factor before I came to WWE. And no matter how long you're here for, I will still be the it factor.
Yeah. And I think I just think the story has been told so well. I've said it before. I will say it again. I want Daniel Bryan to lose and have to go rediscover himself on the Indies.
I'm right with you there. I'm actually egging this on.
Just think it's such a great story to tell. And I think with the landscape the way it is, and all these other companies nipping at Vince's heels. I mean, when I say nipping at his heels, they're not really nipping at his heels, but wrestling is the hottest that it's been since the 90s. Yes. We can agree on that, guaranteed. Right? There's no one is close to competing globally with WWE. WWE is wrestling for a lot of people. And no one else is close to competing on that level at all. It's not going to be competition necessarily, but Vince has in the past, he helped out ECW, right? He has thrown some money at Ring of Honor's way as well as like an unofficial development territory, allegedly. We know that he does do things like that sometimes. And I can see him looking at the landscape at the moment and going, look, there's a lot going on. And I can see him wanting to expand a little and play with that. And sort of, because this is his world and we're all just living in it.
That's pretty much how it is with him though.
So, I don't know. I'm hoping that that's the way they're going. I hope that Daniel Bryan loses and leaves.
Yeah. Well, and
I don't think he'll leave forever. I think he'll come back because I think there's more to do with it.
I think you're right there. And when we have our All In podcast, there are a lot more to that Daniel Bryan side that I would like to talk about as well. But yeah, I think you're right. He needs to leave and come back in a little bit. Perhaps a surprise number 30 return at the Royal Rumble next year.
That would be fantastic. All right, so let's have a look at NXT Takeover Brooklyn and SummerSlam. Let's preview the whole weekend. We'll give our match predictions. Yes. We're running out of time a little bit, so we'll try to keep it relatively short for everyone listening, but let's have a look. We'll start with NXT Takeover Brooklyn, so that's going to happen on Sunday for us here in Australia. let's look at the matches that are on the show. We have Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane for the Women's Championship. Who you got?
I have Kairi Sane. Yep.
Yeah?
To me, I'm going into fantasy booking mode. Kairi Sane holds, as a face, holds the NXT Women's Championship for a little bit, and have it so that Ronda Rousey needs that little bit of assistance on SummerSlam. Shayna Baszler is the person that makes her main roster debut at SummerSlam, helping Ronda Rousey.
You think Shayna Baszler corners her because Natty's
Yep.
not there? Wow. Okay.
That's just fantasy booking, but that's what I want.
Shayna can't be a face. Shayna cannot be a face.
I'm not so sure if it would be a face turn. I think it'd more be I'm your friend, I'm here to help. And then even maybe jump back down to NXT, chase Kairi for that championship. But I think Kairi just needs it just that little bit for the character. Just that little bit.
There's some possibilities. There are definitely some possibilities there. And with Kairi having snapped in that last match, I would love to see her get the title and see what she does with it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're ready to take it off Shayna, but I would love to see Kairi with the straps. I'm still going to stick with Shayna, though. I think Shayna's going to win it just because they like to have longer reigns down there, and I don't think Shayna's held it long enough.
No, you're right, but my pick's Kairi Sane.
Then we have Velveteen Dream versus EC3. As I said previously, I want Velveteen Dream to come out on top.
Yeah, I'm going Dream as well. He needs to win.
I think he needs the win. Yeah. Adam Cole versus Ricochet for the North American Championship. Adam Cole to retain, in my opinion.
No, I want Ricochet to take this. As much as...
See, I think you need the Undisputed Era to be holding the gold going into War Games.
See, I would like that. Even if they do like a hot potato situation with the North American Championship, bounce it to Ricochet for this one, bounce it back to Adam Cole at a normal event. I would like to see that. But yeah, I don't know, I'd like to see Ricochet come out on top. And have him say, I overcame the odds, blah, blah, blah.
See, I don't know. I have a hot potato later in the night, so I can't get behind that at all. Undisputed Era versus Moustache Mountain.
I want Undisputed Era.
Right. So again, as I said, I want Undisputed Era to walk into War Games with all the gold, so Undisputed Era. And then we have the NXT Championship, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, last man standing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm so torn on this match.
Yeah, I think Johnny Gargano wins it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
See, I would like Tommaso Ciampa to retain, actually. Just to hold it just a little bit longer.
See, I want Johnny to take it, and then I want Ciampa to go up to Raw and show them how to be heels. But I don't know. I think that I think it's Gargano's time, right? Like he's been plugging away, and I think that there's a story to tell about him becoming a champion, but becoming a champion in a way that he wouldn't really normally approve of, right? Because it was so personal, and he snapped, and he does things to Tommaso Ciampa that he's not proud of. And then he has to come back from that.
Yeah.
And he has to come back from that and try to reconcile with himself. How do I be a champion after I gained it the way I did?
Yeah, no, you've got a really good point there. You do have a good point.
I don't know. I think there's some real interesting stories to tell with these two. And really, either one could walk out with the title, and it would make me happy. But I really want this to be Johnny Gargano's time.
I'm going to go different due to the fact that I like the way how he is as a champion, and I'm going to go Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah. Had it been the triple threat, I would have been going with Tommaso Ciampa. But being the one-on-one, I think Johnny Gargano needs to close out the story with a win.
It would be good to see it, but...
So, yeah. Let's move on to SummerSlam then. So, confirmed, I think, for the kickoff is Rusev and Lana versus Andrade and Zelina. Rusev and Lana. No, Andrade and Zelina, because I think they're really high on Andrade. I think they're going to give him a big
I'm going to go Andrade as well for that.
Yeah. And it sucks for Rusev and Lana because they're self-made over, you know? No one pushed them to be over. They're just over because they're over. Andrade deserves the push, though, so it's a bit bittersweet for me.
No, I can see where you're coming from. I just think just a pure skill and the fact that Andrade is going to be one of the biggest people in this company in the years to come, have Andrade go over.
Yep. B Team versus the Revival, also on the kickoff. That one's for the Raw Tag Team Championship. Why do you have top guys doing top guy stuff on a kickoff show? That is not
Maybe
tops.
it's the top kickoff show for the top show?
Man, I don't know. It pissed me off. The disrespect that Dash and Dawson have to endure is disgusting. Legitimately.
Oh, you really don't like that?
Legitimately. These guys could headline WrestleMania against the Young Bucks. Putting that out there, right? They couldn't headline against anyone in WWE because there's no other good tag teams. Oh, maybe the Usos.
Usos could do it.
Or the New Day. Yeah. And someone on SmackDown. There's no one on Raw. No one on Raw. They have zero competition on Raw, and they should be the goddamn champions, and it's going to happen.
Yeah, I've got the Revival for this one too.
Absolutely. Cedric Alexander versus Drew Gulak for the Cruiserweight Championship. What I'm looking at here has this as opening the SummerSlam show.
I'm
proper.
pretty sure. I'm actually 80% sure that this is on the kickoff too. I'm pretty sure that on 205 Live this week when they have those little what are they called? Like the match card? Yeah, the graphics, the match card graphic. I'm pretty sure it said it was on the kickoff.
Boo hiss. I hope it's not. I hope it opens the show, and I hope that Drew Gulak gets the title.
And I'm different. I'm actually hoping that Cedric Alexander retains.
Nah, the money's in the chase. The money's in the chase. You need a heel champion. He's had it for a while. He's been a fighting champion. It's time to chase.
Yeah, I agree that, yeah, time to chase, but I want him to remain undefeated for a little bit longer for 2018.
Fair enough. So you're back in the Brock Lesnar of the Cruiserweight division. Go figure. All right. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jeff Hardy for the United States Championship. Who cares?
Apparently no one really, but I'm picking Shinsuke.
Yeah, Shinsuke to retain. I don't think... it's just such a throwaway. Just do it on SmackDown. Just do it on SmackDown and save me 15 minutes, you know?
It's probably all the match is going to be.
Yeah. Carmella versus Charlotte versus Becky Lynch. We've both said it already. Carmella to retain in some sort of sneaky fashion. Yeah. Then we have Daniel Bryan versus The Miz.
We've both said previously that we'd like to see Miz go over on top for this, so I'm sticking with The Miz.
Yeah, I want The Miz to win. I don't think he will. I think that it'll be Daniel Bryan's moment, but
problem is, though, is if you think about this back to 2010, Daniel Bryan already had his moment to go over the top of Miz when he won the United States Championship from him back at Night of Champions. So, to me, I think this could be Miz's moment of being like, you beat me then, I beat you where it matters.
Right, well, Miz is such a brilliant character that... I don't know, man. I want Miz to win just because I want them to tell that story with Daniel Bryan that I said, that he has to go find himself and he actually leaves the company to do it. I love the way that they've brought his contract into it with the whole, you should just leave, right? Like Miz said that to him. You should just leave. You should go and wrestle in Bingo Horse. And I would like to see Daniel Bryan lose and then sit there in the corner and you'll see it on his face. Because he's such a good worker. Yeah. He's that kind of guy where you will see it on his face where he will be sitting there thinking, maybe I do need to go.
Yeah.
And then have him not show up on SmackDown. And don't report anything about his contract status so that no one knows.
Yeah, I would really like that. I'd like to have that build.
I want the mystery. I want the mystery for a couple of weeks after he loses to The Miz. So I'm going to go with The Miz, definitely. Right. My heart says Miz, but my head says Daniel Bryan.
All right. Now, I was going to say, the match that has potentially one of the best builds of this entire card. Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental Championship.
Potentially one of the best builds, yeah. It has a lot of water treading. But
it does, but I like this build.
Yeah, Ziggler versus Rollins, I'm going to stick with Ziggler. Because, as I said, Dean Ambrose to turn.
Yeah, no, I'm right with you.
All right,
Either... Oh, actually, no. I'm going to go Seth. I'm going to say Seth wins clean, Dean turns after the match.
Dean turns after the match. Okay, interesting. Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens for the Money in the Bank briefcase. Kevin Owens.
Oh, I'm so torn, but I'm going Braun.
Well, there you go. You think Braun keeps it?
I would say Braun keeps it just because of the fact that after SummerSlam, what does Roman Reigns really have? Like, if you think about it, if Roman goes over and actually beats Brock, where does the Universal Championship go?
Right. Yeah, to UFC. That's where it goes in January. The next time we'll see it's on a UFC pay-per-view in January. Okay, fair enough. I can see that. But Bludgeon Brothers versus the New Day for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. This should be on the kickoff show, and the B Team versus the Revival should be on the main show because top guys. Anyway, Bludgeon Brothers retain.
No, I want New Day.
Yeah, for the 8 millionth time as champions. I want them to do singles stuff.
I would like to see them do single stuff, but at the same time, I would like to have them as 5-time tag team champions. That would be good. But also, this could also lead to their split. If you think about it.
I don't want them to split.
I would like to see them... I would actually like to see them split for a little bit. Not so much like a complete go away, disappear sort of situation, but have it so that Big E goes off and does his thing. Kofi goes and does his thing, and Xavier Woods is pushed down to 205 Live because, let's face it, he would do well there.
Yeah, that's literally the exact same thing I was going to say. I want him to win the Cruiserweight title. I want Kofi to win the United States title, and I want Big E to win the world title, and I want them to come back together as triple champions. Like, I want them to do singles stuff but still be friends.
Yeah, which I think could work really well, but in a sense,
why
they
would
need
you
to
give them
have
the
that.
tag team titles?
Because the tag team titles could be the biggest thing for their split. In a sense, they could use it to build where one of them becomes jealous that all of a sudden, say for example, Xavier Woods gets extremely jealous.
To stay friends. No,
I don't know.
I disagree.
Like to say that.
I disagree. I want them to stay friends. So, Finn Balor, Baron Corbin. Who cares? Who cares?
No, don't care.
Toilet wins. My bladder wins because I get a break.
Yeah, that's actually what I'm going to be using.
My bladder wins. Cool.
Yep.
Alexa Bliss versus Ronda Rousey.
Alexa.
Yeah.
My girl's
Alexa
going over.
retains. Well, actually, no. You know what? I don't see how she. I initially had it because I had the Natty heel turn, but with Natty, I don't think Natty's going to turn heel, so I'm going to go with Ronda Rousey.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
I think she gets it. AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe for the WWE Championship.
AJ Styles.
Really?
Yep.
I think Samoa Joe needs it. I think it's time.
See, I would like
I
to
love
see...
AJ as champion, but...
See, to me, I'd like to see this feud go a little bit longer. And I actually call the main event for Hell in a Cell to be AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe in a Hell in a Cell match. Because they would kill that match. They would absolutely kill it.
You think the WWE Championship will headline a pay-per-view? That's hilarious. You're so cute.
I know, but that's not the point. But no, I think they could do it.
I get what you're saying, but that can be the rematch.
Yeah.
That can be the rematch.
Either way, it could work, but I would pick AJ to go over.
See, I've got Joe here, and then I do think they continue it with the rematch. But yeah, so you've got AJ, I've got Joe, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Universal Championship. Lesnar retains.
I vote for the bat.
Ronda Rousey wins.
Now, can we just say that Shayna Baszler comes in and destroys everyone?
And she's like, I did it for The Rock.
Oh, yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for the view from the WWE Universe. CJ, where can people find you?
Guys, you can follow me on Facebook, CJ's World, and find me on Instagram as well, CJ's_World. Go like, share, subscribe, go for your life.
All right, and I am at GregUnchained on Twitter, at the GregUnchained on Instagram. Collectively, we are the B Plus Wrestle on Twitter because wrestling wouldn't fit. The B Plus Wrestling on Facebook, Instagram, and pretty much everywhere else because it does fit. What the hell is wrong with you, Twitter? I don't understand. We are on YouTube. We are on Spotify. We are taking over the globe. Like, share, subscribe, leave us a 5-star review, all that good stuff. Thank you very much for listening.
Hold one! Arm drag!
You're not doing this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list!
So, no speak English.
Dummy! Yeah.
Goodbye and good night.
Hold two! Arm bar!
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
It's still real to me, damn it! Dummy! Yeah. Hold discovered